Wow, right. This is a tough one. So, good morning. Obviously, it's normally time for a fitness fragrance review today, and that's what we're going to do. But we're actually going to do a face off again. It's been a little while since I've done a face off. Basically, the weather's not great, so it's very hard to sort of do filming and stuff and talk about fragrances in heavy rain and wind. I don't want to damage my phone or anything like that. And I thought, well, let's try and do a face off again. Let's do two really good fragrances I really like. I've mentioned quite a lot before, but I've never decided which one's particularly better, and I'm not actually sure myself. So I thought we'll do the face off while the weather's not great. Essentially, what I've got today, I've got 9 different tests, which I'm going to do. I'm going to still exercise this morning. During my workout, I'll talk about them sort of pre, during, and post exercise. And yeah, overall, I want to see which one comes out better. So, what are the two fragrances? First one, TdH Eau Givree. I've mentioned this a lot of times. Fantastic sort of citrus fragrance. And then this is another sort of citrus summer-based fragrance as well. Acqua di Parma, Colonia, Pura. So yeah, I had this. Well, this was one of the first expensive fragrances I ever had. My brother bought it for me actually as a birthday present. So actually, it was a Christmas present. I know, it was a Christmas present. So why did I pick these two? Well, actually, there's this thing called the Fragrance Foundation Awards. These two have both been up for awards. This one in 2023 actually won Men's Fragrance of the Year, and that was in something called the Prestige category. So they do like luxury category, prestige category, all these different sort of categories of fragrances. This won it. This is a great fragrance. Then this one didn't win, but in 2018, this actually came runner-up in a, well, actually there was a few that sort of were nominated, but it didn't quite win it. Best New Men's Fragrance of the Year. So yeah, they're both fantastic fragrances, and as they're both sort of summer ones, I thought I'd sort of compare them together and see how they get on. So we're going to do some tests in a minute, some perform a run, then I'm going to go for a run, sort of, hopefully I can take my phone with me. I'll have a look outside. If not, I'll talk about it after, about performance, longevity, all those little things. And yeah, 9 rounds, we'll see which one becomes the overall winner. I'll very quickly talk about the note breakdown as I've got it to the side of me here. They weren't too complicated, as you can imagine. Some of the fragrances aren't too complicated. So let's start with TdH Eau Givree. So the top note is citron, adds a bright, zesty citrus burst, offering a fresh and invigorating opening. Yeah, it's certainly invigorating, but I think again it's the middle notes here that really stand out. So in the middle you've got juniper berries, and I think it's called timber pepper, don't know, but the juniper berries bring this sort of piney freshness, which I definitely get. It's quite juicy, this. I don't know if that's from the opening or not, but certainly the pepper. So there's timber pepper, which they say contributes to spicy, slightly grapefruit-like zest. That's what I'm getting, this like grapefruit zestiness. We said this smells like a greenhouse, but it's lovely. Yes, really nice and zesty, like a really fresh, zesty fruit. So definitely getting that with this kind of berry accord. So let's have a look at the base woody notes. Yeah, I don't know if there's vetiver or something in this, but this definitely brings that masculine vibe to it. It just takes it away from being I mean, you could wear it as a unisex, but yeah, that woodiness definitely makes it more masculine. I think there's got to be this dry, sort of earthy vetiver in it. And then there's mineral notes as well, which give an icy sensation. Yeah, and I do get that, but it's definitely that zesty fruit that you really get, this juicy, zesty fruit, and it's very, very delicious, very naturalistic. Let's have a little look at what Pura's note breakdown is. So, of course, where that one was more citrusy, zesty, this one's a little bit more sort of ozonic, I would say. That one's more peppery, so let's give it a quick spray before I look at the notes. Lovely, right, so the top notes, bergamot, orange, and petitgrain. Again, you're getting that sort of zesty freshness, sort of like a lemon, like an icy lemon smell. That's what I'm getting. And I think that bitterness definitely comes from that petitgrain. I'm definitely getting a bitter sort of note. We look at the heart again, so the middle notes. Yeah, there's this spicy bitterness to it. I wonder if that's that coriander as well. People say it's quite green. I get more of a, I think it's more lemony sort of smelling myself, but I do understand that obviously they are more green notes in this. Sweet floral, so I don't get the floral part from this fragrance, or the waxy buttery floral nuance with a hint of green freshness, which apparently comes from the narcissus or something like that. Never heard of it. Then cedarwood imparts a dry woody depth, patchouli and white musk. So that's the base. Again, really woody. I'm definitely getting that woods at the end as well, which means these two do kind of fit in that same scent profile. Yeah, and I think the cedarwood and I think these base notes actually make it exactly what it is. You get the woodiness, and then there is that clean sort of washing smell, I think, coming from that white musk at the end. But yeah, certainly brilliant fragrance again. A little bit more grown up, this one, I'd say, and yeah, a fantastic scent. We're going to start off our first test. We're going to start with a spray off. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if you haven't seen these before, I'm going to do a quick spray off, spray them in the air 3 times, and push it into my face. We're going to see which one is the dominant fragrance. I've got a feeling it's going to be this one, but we will see. So, 3, 2, 1. Put that down. Yeah, so it's definitely TdH Eau Givree. This is actually really strong. I think zesty fragrances, fruity sort of zestiness in openings make for really strong sort of scents. I said this with Rhubarb Éclat. I said this with Fico di Amalfi from Acqua di Parma. The fruitiness really kicks off at the start, and that first hour people are going to notice it, and that one definitely does that as well. It's a really nice zesty smell, and that's definitely one that face off there. So what I'm going to quickly do now, I'm going to get myself kind of half ready for my run. I'm going to come back in 10 minutes. I'm going to spray my room 5 times with both sprays and see which one fills the room more. Again, I wonder if that fruitiness might just kick through here. Do them at the same time. I'm actually going to give a couple of extra sprays to Pura just because the atomizer is not quite as big. Right, so I'm going to be about 10 minutes now to get myself ready. I'm going to come back in the room and we'll see which one has filled the room more. So 10 minutes has gone by. Let's go back in and see if I can smell either. I'll be honest, I thought I'd be able to smell both of them a little bit more than I did actually. But it's definitely Eau Givree again, the one that's dominant. I think it's just that zesty fruitiness. This is a really strong fragrance. I know this from sort of wearing it. I don't know how much it really projects and fills a room. It feels like one if you wear on your clothes, it stays on your clothes more than really kicks off. So again, intimate settings, which is typical again. That's traditional sort of citrus fragrances. I think if I spray a little bit more, this would definitely be noticed in a close confined room. But it's very pleasant. I really, really like it. So that is 2 rounds up now already of the 9 to Eau Givree. It's showing why it won an award in 2023, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go for my run. I'm going to have a little look outside. Let's see. Is it raining? No, there's some blue sky, but we know this changes very quickly. But I'm going to try and take my phone. And what we're going to do, we're going to do 3 rounds on my run this morning. What we're going to do, we're going to talk about price, its versatility, and its complement factor. And we'll rank them on those. So, yeah, fingers crossed it's going to be all right. I don't want to get wet again. I'm getting bored of getting wet already. I do think we need to mention, though, Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura is an eau de cologne, and Eau Givree is an eau de parfum, so you'd expect the Hermes fragrance to be stronger. So even though I've got to give a winner for that round, I'm not overly surprised that the first 2 rounds have been won by Eau Givree, because, again, as a general rule of thumb, eau de colognes are the weakest, eau de parfums are pretty strong. You've got extraits and eau de toilettes in between that. So, yeah, I'd expect an eau de parfum as a general rule of thumb to be stronger. It's not always the case, but yeah, it doesn't particularly surprise me. But yeah, 2-0 up. Let's do the next few rounds. Let's go for it. It's raining. I brought my phone for this reason, so if it gets wet, you never see this. You know why? It's water damage. So the price you were just seeing, the Acqua di Parma is slightly more expensive for 100ml and 180ml. Essentially, it's a little bit less for the Eau Givree, but do I think they're both good value for me? First of all, yes, because I've spent that on both of them. I bought the bigger bottles for both of those prices. Which one do I think is better value for money? Well, you're getting a high quality citrus set. There's a lot of complexity of both.
I said they both start like a nice citrus, and they have a woody dry down, but they've both got their own nuances that are slightly different. So, you know, the Eau Givree goes more into a zesty sort of citrus grapefruit vibe, and the Pura one tends to go more into that sort of peppery sort of notes and ozonic sort of notes, which is definitely more masculine, that one. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to say that the Colonia Pura is better base mate. It's a little bit more, and I know performance isn't as good, we mentioned that, but it certainly has an element of class. But it's very hard to make citrus scents very different and complex. And I've tried pretty much all their Colonia line, whether that's just the original, Intensa, Essenza, and they're all so different. I could easily recognise them blindfolded. And this one, you just know it's Acqua di Parma. My mum's noticed me wearing it before, and she's always said, "Oh, that's Acqua di Parma, isn't it?" And it just smells like a niche fragrance, which it is. And I'll be honest, Eau Givree is amazing. It is a stunner. I'm not saying anything that smells like it, but it does have more of a designer, mass-pleasing vibe to it that's maybe not as unique in terms of, I don't know, I feel like you can replicate that one a little bit easier. I don't know how Acqua di Parma does it with their Colonias, but you just know they're an Acqua di Parma. What I would say, the Pura is like the sort of sophisticated fragrance, the older, more serious one that has an element of class about it. And Eau Givree, my phone's getting so glad it's away. But Eau Givree is kind of your more slightly youthful, very well put together, but not quite as trendy looking younger brother. But again, very classy, very nice. We'll talk about versatility hopefully on this run. But yeah, this needs to go away. Look how wet I am. I'm actually dripping.
It was very dangerous out there, thunder and lightning and everything, but I've done about 12 miles. Now, because obviously I wasn't able to film versatility and stuff outside, I'm going to do my squats now because my knees get sore if I don't do them. So I'm going to try and hold a squat while I talk about it. So which one is more versatile? Well, to be honest with you, they're both sort of citrusy summer scents, so they're pretty versatile in most occasions, but can you dress them up, dress them down? How can you use them? Are they unisex? I think they're both unisex. I think they both lean more masculine for me because of those woody notes. I'd probably say the fruitiness and the zestiness coming from Eau Givree just makes it a little bit more suitable, I think, for women and younger people, that's for sure. I think, as I was saying a little bit earlier, there's more of a sophistication around Colonia Pura, and I think that means you can certainly dress it up a little bit more. It's not to say you can't dress them both up. There's enough complexity in both. You can detect different notes, and that's for sure. So yeah, in terms of dressing up, 100% Colonia Pura. Now, I actually really like in the winter wearing Colonia Pura. When I first had it, I got it as a Christmas present, as I said. This is getting very uncomfortable. But there's this kind of, again, it's like an icy lemon, and it just means on like a frosty morning, I can imagine it being very pleasant and probably a little bit more suitable than Eau Givree. This is so hard. This is hurting. That being said, what one then do I think is more versatile for like the gym? I think for the gym, and again, this just goes on straight. I actually think Eau Givree is absolutely perfect for the gym. I think it's going to be too strong for a lot of people. I think Colonia Pura, because it's not very strong, it's an eau de cologne, it might just be a little bit more suitable for more occasions, signature scent. I think it's more dress up. So for that reason, I'm also going to say for versatility, it wins this round. And that means we're now 2 rounds all. I'm so glad to finish this because now I need to end this squat because my knees are really hurting. Oh. Okay, we're still squatting at the minute. This is so painful, but I've got to do it. Honestly, the difference it makes. Compliment factor. So which one do I think is better for compliments? I think they both can get compliments. I've had compliments on both of them. I'd probably say the main compliments I've had tend to be at home. My brother actually prefers Eau Givree. My mum prefers Colonia Pura, so I've asked them in the past which one they prefer. Now, I think if you're talking about most people, what the sort of general person would like, I just think Eau Givree, because it suits a younger audience. It's not quite as grown up. There's a bit more playfulness about it. it's a little bit more casual. That's probably what I'm saying. I think fragrances that get compliments tend to not be too serious. I think if you think about like those sort of shower jelly scents, they're very relaxing, very calming, very inviting. Colonia Pura is quite serious. It's quite grown up, and yes, it's someone who's very well put together rather than someone who you just sort of want to, I don't know, just go for a drink with or just go for a day out. I think that zesty sort of fruitiness that you have in Givree is great, and it's got that little bit more extra strength. Being an eau de parfum, there's a really good strength to it as well. And yeah, if you've got the original Terre Hermes, that gets so many compliments as well. That's why it's an all-time fragrance. I think this has just kind of modernised it and made it a little bit sweeter and a bit more fruity. So for that reason, I just think that is the perfect compliment getting scent. It's a little bit better than your sort of traditional fragrance. It's not synthetic. What I really like with Hermes, you don't do synthetic fragrances really. I tend to find they're very natural in their smell. And this classic goes from citrus to that sort of zesty, peppery smell down to a woody base, and it's just a lovely scent. It performs really well, lasts you through most of the day, and I think that's going to get you essentially the compliments as well. People will notice it most of the day, and if you really wanted to apply it, you can do so. Yeah, for that reason, I'm going to give compliment factor to Givree. Other squad done. Finally finished them.
Can you hear that noise under me? Yeah, it's not rain. It's the kettle. So I'm sort of halfway through my workout now, so I thought I'd do another test. So I'm going to do this sweat test. I've done this one before. Essentially, I'm going to spray the fragrances on a tissue. So both fragrances are going to be sprayed on a tissue. I'm going to put some boiling water in a cup. Fighting against the noise now. Boiling water in a cup. And then we're going to see which one the fumes smell more on that tissue. So it's just going to sit the tissue over the cup to see which one kicks off with the steam, and that'll be the winner. We'll fill it up a little bit higher than normal. That one. And then we'll do exactly the same with Pura. So I've given it a minute. Oh, do you know, that's delicious. That smells like... Anyone know those incense sort of sticks that you get? You sometimes put them in your room. It's just like that. Do you know, I think I'm getting the... Oh, it's tough to know. There's a real... It's close. They're battling here. They are battling, but which one's stronger? They're about the same, but I definitely 100% prefer the smell of Acqua di Parma's Pura. Now, Acqua di Parma, I'm wondering if this is because, maybe Hermes do, but I know Acqua di Parma do scented candles, and I think they do some in the Colonia line. And that just smells amazing with that steam. Wow, wow, wow. That is really nice. I tell you what, this could almost be like a room scent sort of thing. That is, yeah, Colonia Pura there. I wouldn't say either were particularly stronger, but we've done things on strength. Anyway, which one smelled better in terms of with sweat? Because it's kind of like a sweat test. Pura, that was really nice. It was like a really nice candle. You can imagine, again, very cozy. Those ozonic notes really sort of kicked up there. So I can imagine if you're sweating, which is, I'm glad, because I said this one was a more versatile fragrance at the gym and stuff. Yeah, I think that'd do really well. So very happy with how that one went. Going to do another test now. I need to spray my neck this time, and then I'll explain it. Right, so I need to get back on with my workout on the home treadmill in a minute. What I'm going to quickly do is just spray my neck here with one of the fragrances and here with the other. I'm going to put my neck fan on, and then basically it's a wind test. So if you're outside, a breezy day like it is today, which one would sort of kick up more off the wind? So I'm going to get my neck fan, turn it on, and do a bit of a workout and just see which one I notice a little bit more, if I notice either. So yeah, we'll give that a try. Okay then, the neck fan is on. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's see if I can smell either. I'm just going to let it sit for 10 seconds. Make sure it's not pressing down too much on my collar. It's Colonia Pura. That's the one I can smell. I'm really surprised because, as I've said, this one in the air does not last anywhere near as well. TdH or Givree. But in the last 2 rounds, it's definitely that one kicking through just over the top. I'm just getting that icy lemon smell. Those ozonic notes are definitely kicking through. And maybe that's what this is best for. Maybe, again, this is a real quality fragrance. I always say this about this partner. Yes, the performance isn't amazing, but the quality of the actual perfume and whatever they're putting in, the sort of note, maybe that just does better on skin than on things like clothes and in the air, which, again, you'd expect, to be honest with you. And I can imagine this being really nice on pressure points, whether you spray your wrist, your elbow, you know, your neck, behind your ears, whatever you do. I think this one's going to be that subtle one that someone would just walk by, oh, he smelled nice, he smelled well put together. Maybe more than an Eau Givree, which I think you can douse yourself in and get loads of confidence, because it is definitely a stronger one. I think this one's a subtle compliment getter potentially here, and I'm certainly noticing it kick off my neck, that is for sure. A home workout done. 36,000 steps I'm on, so quite a lot. But more importantly, I've come up with a 10th test as well, but I've got a few more to do. I'm waiting for the hot water for the shower because I need to do my shower test. But what I'm going to do next, I'm going to ask AI which one they would choose. If they had a choice between the two, which one would they go for? I think they're going to go Eau Givree, but yeah, let's see what they say. Hi there. So if you had to pick between Acqua di Parma, Colonia Pura, or TdH Eau Givree, which fragrance would you pick? And please give me your reasons why.
Ooh, that's a fun choice. Both are really nice. I'd probably lean toward Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura because it has a fresh, clean, citrusy vibe that's really versatile and great for everyday wear. But the other one, TdH, has a really unique character, so it just depends on the mood. But yeah, I'd probably pick Acqua di Parma.
Any other reasons why?
Yeah, absolutely. Acqua di Parma is known for its high quality ingredients, and it's a bit more timeless and elegant, which makes it a great signature scent. It's also pretty long lasting, and it has that nice balance of freshness without being too overpowering. So definitely safe that.
I said that. What we're going to do now, I've added an extra game, an extra round. It's going to be the layer test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a fragrance. I'm going to go for a more safe traditional winter scent, Ferragamo Uomo. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray my arm with this fragrance on both sides. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm already getting that caramel tiramisu smell. So if anyone's not smelled this before, this just smells like a coffee dessert, really. It's very nice, very much in line with those sort of modern, sweet fragrances that people just lean towards. They're compliment getters. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to layer it with both fragrances. I'm just going to let it sit for a few minutes, and now I'm going to smell my arm again and just let you know which one I prefer, layering with a traditional winter scent as we're approaching that winter period. So let's spray Eau Givree on this one, and let's spray Colonia Pura on this one. What I'll do, I'll just let that sit for a few minutes, let both fragrances just dry down, and I'll tell you which one smells better, in my opinion, with Ferragamo Uomo. Okay. Right, I'm going to give the winner here to Eau Givree because it's stronger. I know this sounds, well, it probably makes sense, to be honest with you. This one, I'm starting to feel it mixing with Ferragamo Uomo. The problem with Pura, again, we said this before, it's not overly strong, but it is coming through a little bit. But I just feel that's overtaking it so much to the point that there's no. I wouldn't layer any of these, by the way. I don't think you need to layer them. They're all too good a scent. But yeah, that's very pleasant. This has sort of mandarin orange, I believe, in it. It has got a bit of a citrus opening to this one as well. And I just think that's emphasised that citrus a little bit more than Colonia Pura. And yeah, I just think that makes it a little bit nicer. It's just mixes that a little bit better because it's stronger. It mixes well with that citrus, and it's just got that caramel background. This just feels like it's been overshadowed a little bit by this one, which, is absolutely fine. I don't want it to be a
layered fragrance. It's too good for that, Colonia Pura, and so Givree, to be honest. But yeah, that's made this one quite nice, well, it's complex anyway, but it's just added another dimension to it. It's actually become more musky, if anything. Very strange, but yeah, very nice. I'm going to say, though, the winner of that round, Givree, is the better one to fragrance with a caramel scent. Quickly spray both wrists before we go in the shower. 2, 3. 3 on both sides. So now what we'll do, we'll have a shower, we'll properly wash my arms and stuff and just see which one survives. Which one could you sort of go to work with or school with or college or whatever after being in the shower without having to reapply as much? And which one sort of mixes better with skin chemistry. So yeah, I'm going to turn the shower on. There should be enough hot water now. I think this shirt might need an iron. Shows how little I wear it, doesn't it? So let's see how this has got on from the shower test. So which one smells better? Which one smells sort of stronger? Okay, it's quite interesting. So Givree is on this one, and to be honest with you, it smells much the same. It pretty much smells about 60-70% as strong, maybe more 70% as strong as it was when I went in. And Colonia Pura, probably much the same, but obviously a little bit weaker. However, that one, as I said, just smells literally the same, just a more watered down version. Colonia Pura, the actual sort of citrus has come out a lot more again. It's almost like the top notes have come back out, and that sort of peppery greenness, which people mention, has kind of gone. It's really nice. I wonder if that's because of the ozonic sort of notes, that maybe with the water and my skin chemistry, maybe that just reacts better with the shower. It just smells so good. Really, really classy. And I have to say, I think it's elevated. It's really come to the forefront, that citrus again. And that's still very pleasant. I feel like you don't need to reapply it necessarily. But that's just wowed me a little bit more. It's changed. I just think it's the quality of the oils they use. It's really, really nice. And that's intrigued me more, and it makes me want to smell that one more than that one. So for that reason, I'm going to give this round from the shower test to Colonia Pura. So that's another round done. It's time to have a look at the scores and give my final thoughts. Okay, so we've done all 10 rounds today where we've been doing spray-offs, we've been doing room fill tests, we've been out in the rain and storm. It was absolutely awful this morning. We've boiled a kettle and done the steam sweat test. We've done neck fan tests. We've done loads of tests today, all while wearing these two fragrances. So which one got the highest score overall? So we did 10 rounds, this one 4, Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura 1-6. So that is the overall winner today. Now, before we go into too much detail about maybe why it did win, I just want to say they're both fantastic fragrances. I'm going to happily wear these all through the whole year, to be honest with you. I'll be wearing them this winter, even though they're more citrusy summer scents. I'll be wearing them next summer. I'll be buying them again because I love them both. I think they're brilliant, brilliant fragrances. Where it sort of was one loss today for me, I think was, and it was a surprise, I didn't think this would do so well with that sort of sweat test with the cup and also the neck fan test. I find with this, if you catch a whiff of this, it's not as strong as this, it's an eau de cologne, that's an eau de parfum. I really notice the quality. As I said before, my mum's always said, oh, that's an Acqua di Parma. I always think if you put this on and you know Acqua di Parma fragrances, you can just smell it's really, really classy. I think that's what made it stand out. Yes, it's a little bit more serious, but it's a lot more sophisticated. I feel like you can dress this one up more. And I just don't think anything replicates Acqua di Parma in that sense. I think it's really, really classy. If you want pure compliments and stuff like that, a bit more fruitiness, go for this. You want that more zesty vibe. You just want that a little bit more grown up, a little bit more professional scent, go for this. But it is complete personal preference, whatever you like. They're similar ballpark in terms of prices. They're both very well liked. I mean, this one, as I said, won awards. They've both been up for awards, so they're very much respected fragrances. And for that reason, I just think they're absolutely great. I really love them both. Could have easily been a draw another day. Givree could have easily won that. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one today. Be interested to know if you've had these fragrances as well, because obviously I'm sure a lot of you have owned these sort of fragrances. Yeah, just what your thoughts are, because ultimately they're flankers of very, very popular ones. You know, the original Acqua di Parma Colonia came out in 1916. It's still very relevant today. And I believe off the top of my head, Dead MS, the original came out in 2006. And that's an absolute stunner as well. It's my signature scent if I had to pick one. So yeah, they're fantastic. They're brilliant fragrances. And yeah, hopefully I've given them enough justice today because yeah, I absolutely love them. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. As I said, it's a very long video. So if you've got this far, I very much appreciate it. Obviously, be more fragrance videos next week. I start my new role next week as well, so there'll probably be not quite as many sort of videos, but I'll try and sort of work around that as much as I can, starting with the darts one on Monday. But yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you later.